Hello, everyone, and happy Saturday. This is going to be a compilation of workouts from Monday and workouts from Wednesday. And on Monday, I had a pretty big chest day. A whole lot of volume on the chest. So still doing the juggernaut program, and I'm in the final, I guess, the final block of the program. So this is the threes block, and this is the first wave of the threes block. So this is the call it the accumulation phase of the threes block. And yeah, I'm really happy with how my my bench press training is going. I'm really happy with myself. I mean, the numbers aren't anything too crazy, so it's not something that I guess you would be necessarily proud of in a commercial gym. Like when somebody says, "What are your bench numbers?" I mean, 160 is you know just okay, I guess. So it's nothing crazy, but I'm really happy with how things are moving. Like I like how things are feeling. And I've also, really tried to get rid of trying to lift super intense, high intensity weights in favor of sustainability. So what is the most sustainable thing for me to do? Like what is gonna keep me in the gym for longer and outside of the gym for shorter periods, no injuries? And I think this approach is the way to go, for me. Yeah, this is my AMRAP set for the Juggernaut program. So I was meant to hit 3+ reps, and I had 160 on the bar. And I'm very happy with how this moved. I'm happy with how this felt, which is probably even perhaps more important. Like I felt like I was actually able to engage the right muscles, which is something I've somewhat struggled with on the bench press for a really long time. It kind of feels like I'm unable to engage the right things. Like when I'm squatting, I feel like I've locked in the form on the squat. I feel like I've locked in the form on the deadlift too. So to a very large extent. But I always felt like the bench press was something I could always tweak. So I never really felt like I settled on a form I feel entirely comfortable with. Honestly, this might be the closest I've come to feeling entirely comfortable with a form. So I like the way, yeah, everything just feels super tight right now. Like when I go on the bar and when I make my arch. Everything feels tight and everything seems to be getting more and more consistent. It seems like it seems like a good base from which I can then build off of. Because I feel like getting the form down is very important. Getting a form that you feel like you have a high ceiling on, and this feels like that form for me right now. I mean, it is closer. It's a closer grip than I used to use previously. So before I got injured, I used to use this relatively wide grip where my index finger will be on the rings of the bar, but now I more so have my ring finger or my pinky on the rings of the bar, so it's much more inside. And yeah, it feels good. Like I mean, it feels like I'm able to engage my chest better, which is somewhat counterintuitive because you would expect that a wider grip would help you engage your chest better. But I just felt like maybe it was just too wide for me, and I just would just lose position a little bit. So I feel like I engage my chest a little bit better. It's also hitting my triceps more, of course, which makes sense. You're using a closer grip. But something I do know I need to be cautious of is when I have my ring finger on the rings of the bar, which is the closest I've been going recently. I do notice that if I've done enough sets, enough reps, I do feel a little bit of stress on my elbows, which makes sense. The closer you are, the more you're working your triceps. The more you're working your triceps, the more stress you're putting on your elbows, right? So it makes sense. So I mean, something I've just sort of like done as a workaround is that I sort of like play around with my grip mid intro workout inside the workout. So if I feel like I'm getting some elbow stress, I just pull my grip outside a little bit more, and then I feel a little bit better. Something else that sort of like helps is that I could also, just try to massage my triceps sometimes. And that helps quite a bit as well. So mid workout, I just put my triceps on the bar, and then it's loosens that up a little bit. And then yeah, I mean overall it was really great workout day. I'm really happy with the way things are moving. Really I'm trying to see if I could bench 225 in my competition in about a month. It might be a tall order, but we're gonna do our best. I definitely feel like I have maybe something like 210 in the tank. So maybe that'll be like my second attempt. Honestly, as opposed to focusing on the absolute number on the bar, I just want to focus on, you know, something I can stick with, just being able to stick with the program because this is really, at least for me, it's a lifelong thing. Like I want to be able to live for the entirety of my life. So it's not like I'm trying to live for a little amount of time and then just, I don't know, all the glory for a short amount of time in the way say like athletes do it. Athletes put everything on the line for a short amount of time and after that it doesn't really matter to them. But this is something I want to do lifelong. So there's really no rush for me. Like I would hit these numbers. Um I'm trying to say like, there's no rush for me to hit a 225 bench press again per se. It's just a somewhat arbitrary number. So I mean, it would be nice to get back to that, because I mean, there was a time I was very comfortable lifting that for, repping that out, and I do think that is pretty close. I mean, might be actually sometime later in this year I should be able to do that. But yeah, I mean, after the other chest stuff I did, after the juggernaut stuff I then did, I've been doing some relatively high intensity stuff for a few reps. So I do 5 by 3, and I did it with 190 pounds right now, which is something like 95% of my training max from the previous cycle, which is pretty good. And something else I've added is that I've also added incline bench press. Initially, I used to, add incline dumbbell bench press, but I actually think there might be a better carryover with the barbell incline press to the barbell bench press than the dumbbell incline press to the dumbbell bench press. Which of them, causes more hypertrophy? I don't know. It's hard to tell because I mean, there's a little bit of a trade-off in that with the barbell bench press, you could probably put more weight on the bar because you have more stability. But then with the dumbbell bench press, you have less stability, but then you can maybe get a little bit deeper because you can essentially get your pecs through a greater range of motion. So it's hard to tell which one is going to cause more hypertrophy. Probably just try whichever one and see which works for you. But right now, I think it's time for me to, focus a lot on barbell stuff. I mean, with powerlifting, the main variables you wanna control are well with your accessories. At least for me, I think you should try to accessories where they, somewhat mimic the actual motion without being the exact actual motion. So, like for example, accessories for squat, like say pause squats, pin squats, they're still mimicking the squat motion, but then they're good accessories because you're training that same pattern of motion, but then you're able to focus on different aspects of your of the lift that maybe might be weak. So in the same way, I also think it's probably best to focus bench accessories as for a powerlifter if you can on things that somewhat mimic the range of motion. And I think the barbell bench press does that more so than the dumbbell bench press. So I'm going to stick with that one for now. Try to progress that one. Probably try to progress to something like 135 on the bar. Feeling comfortable with that for a high number of reps, like 8 to 10 reps, and then just keep on going from there. But yeah, on the second day, this was on another day. It was on a Tuesday. I then did some of my calisthenic stuff. So still trying to learn the front lever. I will say it seems like I might have plateaued a little bit on this training. So which is fine. Like honestly, I think for now, if I can just maintain my current strength in the front lever, that'd be good. And then after my competition, I can then focus on trying to, actually progress. And I'm actually need to add another day because when I got the back lever, I was training it 3 days a week, and that totally helped. I think frequency is very important with these calisthenic stands, like with these scale movements. Frequency is very important. But also something else is that I've actually gotten my ring dips back, which is awesome. Like when I first got the injury, I couldn't ring dip because I just didn't have the strength in my left triceps, essentially my left push muscles, triceps plus pecs. But it's awesome that I have that back again, and I'm able to do comfortably 3 sets of 10 with that, and feels great. But yeah, overall, it was a great workout. Well, two great workouts, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the next week. Peace out, ciao.